director Jennifer Baichwal and photographer Edward Burtynsky. Welcome.
Great to be here.
Thanks so much for being here. You know, I look at this movie and I'm just amazed that it happened. I can't conceive of how big it must have been. How were you able to be there and witness this stuff in progress?
Well, I'd been there about 5 times before that, and this was like the 5th trip. And
the last trip.
The last trip, yeah. Too. And so a lot of the locations had been kind of determined through my stills.
And some of those locations took years to get into, like the Three Gorges Dam site, and we just kind of piggybacked on Ed's access, and they probably wouldn't have let us come if we were just a film crew coming to those places.
Yeah, the tick, tick, tick of the clock, though, because like when it's gone, it's gone. There's like no going back. Did that lend an urgency, do you think, to the filmmaking itself?
Well, it was, we knew that we had to go on location there, and we had to be in these environments. And one of the biggest challenges of the film was how to intelligently translate the meaning of the work, the stills, the photographs, into a time-based medium like film. And we grappled with that. And we could only really do it by being there and kind of saying, okay, this is the context, this is where we are. How do we convey this place that people are responsible for but would never normally see? These aluminum recycling yards, the factories where the things we use every day are made. How do we convey that intelligently in film?
Was there any physical danger, or were you liked, were you disliked? Did they mistrust you?
It was interesting because I think the environment is something that they're not as concerned about. So, like if it was human rights, for sure, they'd be watching me like a hawk. But the environment was something they, I think, understood deeply that China had to grapple with that. That the Industrial Revolution moved to China. All the dirty industries moved to China. They don't have a lot of clean water, and the water that they did have was being despoiled by processes from industry, and some of those rivers were, you couldn't even stand by them, they stunk so much. It was like black. So I think they understood that there is a message that they didn't mind having go out into the world, that China does have environmental problems, and they still are, you know, open to that we need to fix this problem.
And you've said, both of you, that your film is apolitical, deliberately apolitical, yet other people, a lot of people see it as an act of activism. Where do you fall on that? Are you artists? Are you activists?
What I've always tried to do with my work is to let the work speak for itself. So let the visuals, you know, do the heavy lifting, and the words are sparse. They just kind of fill in. So in a way, it's allowing the viewer to kind of find the meaning point within it, and it's not a fixed point.
Let's acknowledge the complexity.
And unpack it.
And unpack it, and allow, when you allow people to witness places, you know, where they can be, where they can actually feel what this place is, that can lead to a shift in consciousness, which I think is the beginning of change. And one of the things that surprised us about Manufactured Landscapes is that it struck this chord with so many people because of the fact that it was not overtly activist, political, or didactic.
Do you ever have any ambivalence about making beautiful images out of this stuff?
I'd rather use the word visually compelling. I work to things that make you want to enter the picture, make you want to explore that picture.
And sometimes that ambiguity is very powerful. I mean, you think you're looking at some beautiful kind of abstract image, and you walk in closer and you're looking at garbage.
Is there one image that sort of stops your heart even still?
I mean, the shipbuilding yards, or even if I went back and this touched in the film, the shipbreaking yards was some archival footage that we brought in that was a few years earlier. And to me, that was like one of those places that you go to, you can't imagine it exists in the world, that life is cheap, the environment is not even on the agenda, the danger is beyond the imagination, people are dying on every day, arms are being lost. And that was shocking, but again, just the scale of China was breathtaking. The Three Gorges Dam was...
That was, for me, the biggest one, with the dam, like recognition of scale. You know, that factory that we shot in, that is that sort of iconic opening shot, is 3/4 of a kilometer long. That one factory floor, where that's just one room in this factory. And the dam was unbelievable. I don't think you can comprehend, humans can't comprehend that scale. I mean, we talked about the fact that when they let the water into the reservoir for the dam, there was a wobble in the Earth's axis because it was such a huge amount of volume of water coming in at one time.
When they closed the gates of the Three Gorges Dam to fill it, it was in the spring with lots of waters coming through from the Tibetan Plateau, and in 15 days they filled it. The body of water was 650 kilometers long. So think of Toronto, it would be around Quebec City. That was filled within 15 days. So it's just the scale of it is just kind of insane.
Why do you think you work so well together? What is it about the alchemy between you, and what do you think people see and respond to?
The thing that's interesting is that that the way, you know, Jennifer, Nick work, it's very close to the way I work. In other words, that you put the ideas out there, and you let, you know, the audience grapple with it. And I think that's really interesting, because as an artist, to be too didactic, to be too specific about this is what you're seeing and this is why you're seeing it, it doesn't work for me as an artist, because I like the idea that you have to kind of go into the work and grapple with it.
And it was also the fact that we were, you know, that this approach moved so many people. And then we thought, well, we have to keep going with this.
Well, I can't thank you both enough for coming in today to talk to us about it. I hope you keep making movie after movie.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure.
Our pleasure.
That was terrific. Thank you.